Hello, my stamping friends, and welcome. It is so good to see you and do a little crafting together. All right. Well, I am Terry Hartley. If this is the first time you've been here, I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator coming to you from Southeast Iowa. And it is a chilly, snowy day. We had snow yesterday. No snow today. The sun is out. And I guess really it's warm today because Thursday is going to get really, really cold. So I guess I'm not sure exactly what the temperature is. Maybe it's reached 30, but I think it's in the 30s. But the sun makes the snow look very, very beautiful, and it helps us to get in the holiday spirit, unless, of course, you have to be out and driving in it, right? Which is not good. All right. Well, if you are new here, welcome. And if you, and welcome to all of you that are returning. And if you're watching the replay, please leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching this live, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. I appreciate that. And you can kind of see, there you go. You can kind of see the sun coming in the window. I have the curtain pulled back on the other side because I like the sun. It makes me feel better. I don't know about you, but sometimes the weather kind of has something to do with our mood. All right. Well, today I have a fun card. We're going to be using a combination of different products during Barn Chats, which is a segment I have at the end of my video. I have lots to talk to you about, a couple of things going on here at Rustic Barn Cards in my studio, but Stampin' Up has released a lot of things today, and I want to make sure that you are aware of that and that I mention that. So that'll be at the end. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing by clicking that bell so you'll be notified when I upload videos. If you're watching this on Facebook, then please give me a thumbs up and a like. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me to get my videos out there. All right. Well, I'm going to turn the camera down and we will get started. So today I'm going to be using not the entire suite, although this is called Brushed with Beauty. It's a suite collection, and it's in the November online exclusives. And I am going to be using this suite for my December club. So this is the suite I'm going to be using for my December club. But today we're going to be using pieces of this plus some other products because I want to kind of show you that that you can use other products that you already have in your stash to make cards. So you don't have to just focus on, on one thing. So this suite has two bundles. It has the Petals of Beauty and dies to go with that, but there aren't any sentiments or words. And then it has Words of Beauty, and it has the sentiments, and it has dies that go with that. Some vellum and an embossing folder, and then some gems. And I have the gems, but we're going to be using some different gems. I will show you these today. But again, I just kind of want to, to show you. So if you haven't seen the new packaging, this is the new packaging that we have. So the Petals of Beauty has the stamp set in there. And I really love these Petals of Beauty dies. Isn't this gorgeous? So you have, the dies that will cut out the images, but then you have these extra dies. And you have this extra die, you have this extra die, and then you have have another one too. So I just love that when you have extra ones. I did want to point out on the stamp set, we're going to be using the smaller flower. It is a two-step stamp. Then there's a larger flower. Then you have three smaller ones even. And then these, you can line up to do the centers of these. And this image here is for the center of this or the smaller flower. I'm going to be using it once, but then I'm also going to be using gems for the center of some of my flowers today. So, okay. And then this is, what I like about this, it has a just because, and then it has the dies that go with that, but it also has the words just and because that you can use instead of using these larger images. So, because these are rather large, and today I'm going to be using just and because. You've been on my mind, but I'm using the sentiments rather than the larger stamps. And then I'm going to be using, I'm going to Peace on Earth dies. I'm going to be using these label dies that come from Peace on Earth, the larger one and the smaller one. And so that's what I mean. You can bring in things from what you have in your stash. And then here's a beautiful brushed Pearls of Beauty that goes with this suite. I feel like my lights today aren't maybe having that window open is not a good thing. So this is the beautiful gems that come with that suite. But I'm going to be using muted palette dots. So I'm going to be using the Petal Pink because there is Petal Pink in the paper. We're only using 2 inks today, Secret Sea and Calypso Coral. And let me show you really quick this beautiful paper that we have. And this paper is gorgeous. So I'm going to just show you the front. We have florals. You have more florals and it's smaller. So isn't that beautiful? And if I turn it over, then you can see where you have, you have striped, mossy meadow, petal pink. It's like somebody kind of has just done some, it's kind of with the paste and the coloring. Calypso Coral, which we're going to use this today, and Lost Lagoon. And the colors in this are Calypso Coral, Darling Duckling, Early Espresso, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Oat Olive, Petal Pink, Secret Sea, and Very Vanilla. But today we're going to be using Calypso Coral and Basic Beige. I know it's not even one of the choices, but I think it goes rather nicely with this. So here is the card that we're going to make, just because you've been on my mind. And then inside I stamped a flower. I'm going to go ahead and close this curtain, and maybe the lights that I have on will be brighter and maybe they won't. I'm not sure, but all right. So let me show you how to make this card today. And this is a great layout that you could use with any stamp set. So I'm just using a basic card base of 8.5 by 5.5, scored in at 4 1/4. And this is Calypso Coral. And then I have 2 pieces of Basic Beige, and one is 5 1/4 by 4. The other Basic Beige is 5 by 3 3/4. It's going to go on the inside of our card. Then we have a scrap of Basic Beige to stamp our flowers. And then I've already used the larger label from Peace on Earth and die cut the Calypso Coral label. And then I have also die cut the Basic Beige. And I did want to tell you that the Peace on Earth dies. So one thing today is the last chance. Stampin' Up! Has refreshed the last chance, and Peace on Earth dies are discounted. They're on the last chance and they're discounted. So if this is something that you have been wanting, this would be a great time to get this, because it's regular here in the United States for $24 and it is discounted to $21.60. All right. And then I'm going to bring in 2 pieces of Designer Series paper. And we have the floral is 2.5 by 5. And the smaller piece is is 1.5 by 5. So I'm going to start with this smaller Designer Series paper, and we're going to line that up at the bottom of our basic beige. And this basic beige that I'm using right now is the 5¼ by 4. So it's the larger one. And I'm going to just bring in my silicone craft mat so I don't get any adhesive on my desk, my table. So I'm going to leave about 1/8 of a little on all 3 sides, the right and the left and the bottom. And then I'm going to bring in this designer series paper, 2½ by 5. And I am going to go ahead and lay it here. Now it is going to overlap. So you certainly could cut this instead of 1½, you could cut it 1¼ and then you'll be putting it like this. But I decided I'm going to just overlap it just a little bit like that. Okay. So let's go ahead and add, I think this is so pretty, the Lost Lagoon. I just love this paper. Hi, Kathy. Yes, that's true. The fall paper, you can do so much with it, can't you? So I'm going to go ahead and line this up, looking at making sure I get it lined up on the left, even with the Calypso Coral, and then also leaving a little bit of an edge around there. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to bring in this basic beige, because I chose basic beige. I guess one reason, because I wanted to use this ribbon. This ribbon is so pretty. And plus, I think the Calypso Coral goes good with basic beige. So I'm just going to make that just a little bit longer than here. And then I'm just going to grab a piece of regular tape. And I want to place this ribbon over that, where both of the designer series paper comes together. So you're not going to see that line. So I'm covering up this. Hi, Connie. Yes, you did. You caught me live today. So then I'm going to bring that across. Just like that. And then I can kind of still move it to make it straight. All right. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and I am going to add this to the front of our card. So I'm using some of the products from the Brushed with Beauty suite, but I'm adding some other items in because I want you to realize that you don't have to just stick with the one stamp set. You can look at what you have in your stash and you can choose other things. Isn't this Calypso Coral cardstock? Isn't it just so bright and cheerful? I think it is. All right, so we're going to lay this aside for right now. And again, I'm using the labels from the dies, Peace on Earth dies. And as I mentioned, they are discounted. Stampin' Up! Has done a refresh on their last chance. So I am going to bring in, just because, I'm going to bring our sentiment, and we're going to stamp on the basic beige with Calypso Coral ink. So I'm going to stamp Just Because, and it's 2 different stamps, but I lined them up the best I could on the one stamp. I think it's easier. I did try to do them separately, but then it was kind of hard to get them lined up just perfectly. And I'm not going to guarantee that I have it right now perfectly, but I think it's better than what I had. So Just Because, and then I decided to use You've Been on My Mind. So you're sending a card to someone just because they've been on your mind. I think we have lots of people we could send this card to, right? Well, that wasn't good at all, was it? So maybe I may be die cutting I shouldn't talk when I'm stamping, right? Okay, no problem. I did have an extra one, but I probably tucked it away. But we have our handy dandy cut and emboss machine, and we have, looks like I need to take some things off of that. And let me grab some basic beige. And we will make another label. And this time when I stamp, I won't say anything. I'll just stamp. There we go. All right, we'll try this again. So just because all right, so far so good, but then that's where we were at before, right? So let me ink this up, and then I'm going to be quiet. Oh, much better. You need to apply a little pressure, and then what that was. All right, so now we can layer these together. Another color I think would be very vanilla. That would go well with this paper, as well as white. Basic white would also, because there's weight. But I think very vanilla would be perfect because there is some very vanilla in the flowers and things. All right, so now let's go ahead and pop these labels up. And as we know, there's no mistake in craftings, but sometimes you just have to do it again, right? I mean, we could have used this, but see how that you kind of see in double. So, let's just, you know me, my dimensionals. We're not going to lose our label. Hi, Christina. Good to see you. Oh, no, you had surgery? I'm so sorry to hear that. I did have a good Thanksgiving. Thank you. I hope you have a quick recovery, Christina. So I'm going to line this up, but I'm not putting it right in the middle. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. So I'm kind of bringing just the top of this curve over the ribbon. So just kind of like that. I feel like I need to go to the right just a little bit. And the reason I'm going to go more to the right, because I'm going to put something on the left-hand side. So I'm going to put some flowers here. Okay. So speaking of flowers, let's go ahead and stamp our flowers, which we could have done a second ago. So there is two-step stamping. So you have two flowers. And I'm going to start with the outline. And how do you know it's the outline? Because it's a little rougher. Okay. So if you look at our stamp of our flower, you see where this part comes out over to the left here. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. And I'm going to stamp one flower. and stamp the second flower, full strength. And then I have that part over here on the left. I put it on the stamp the same way. But this time when I ink this up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp off onto my grid paper. And then I'm going to line it up. And stamp. So I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to stamp off. And then I'm lining this up here. And I'm looking at this top also. So kind of looking, getting it like I want. And there you go. Now I could stamp the middle, but I'm going to put embellishments there, so I don't really need to. But I do want to stamp a flower on the inside of a card. I'll just use this side. And so we're going to stamp one in the lower right-hand corner, full strength. And we're going to come back with the inside, stamp off. Now I don't want to put an embellishment here on the inside because that would make the card a little wonky. So I'm going to bring in Secret C. And I'm going to bring in that little center of the flower. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that right there in the middle, because this is going to go inside our card where you can write the message. And then you have a die that will cut out the flowers, but I've already done that. So I have the flowers already die cut out. So let's bring in our card and let's go ahead. And this basic beige is 5 by 3 3/4. And then we'll just go ahead and add some adhesive and put this inside our card. I think you're right, Christina. These are kind of soothing colors, aren't they? That basic beige, I think, really looks nice with Eclipse of Coral. And then we're going to go ahead and add our flowers. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add one down here. So it really doesn't matter how it goes, but I'm going to put a dimensional on this side. And then I'm going to put a little adhesive because this is going to lean against the label and we already have it popped up. So we just need a little adhesive, and this is going to be on this part here. So we will just add that right like that. And then we're going to go ahead and put this like right here. So I'm going to put my dimensional over on this side. And add some adhesive. And make sure I don't cover up my sentiment just because. And then I could use, of course, these are the gems, which are very beautiful, called Pearls of Beauty, that comes with a suite. But instead, I'm going to use these muted dots. And I'm going to use the Petal Pink. And I'm going to use the smaller Petal Pink to go right inside our flowers. I'm going to pick that up with the putty after I got it the lid open. Didn't want to. And then I think I'll just put the larger one right there. So this is a quick and easy card. Just because you've been on my mind, this would be a great layout that you could use with any stamp set. Just because you've been on my mind. And then here's our sample card. but you could use the same layout. And right now, these label dies are in that Peace on Earth dies, and those are on sale. So I hope you like the quick and easy card. I do want to go over some things with you because there's a lot of things going on right now here at Rustic Barn Cards, and also from Stampin' Up. So we're going to just move right on to Barn Chats. And the first thing I want to tell you is about the 12 weeks of Christmas. So that this is free. Each week, you receive a tutorial and a video in your inbox. And I send it out on Wednesday. And I have teamed up with Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie and Sarah Boland from Handmade After Dark. And each week we take turns bringing you a video and a tutorial. And it's not too late. It's almost too late, but it's not too late because this is week 11. So get signed up for the newsletter and you'll get all 12 weeks, because each week I also share with you the previous weeks. Okay. For those of you that are local with me, I'm having 2 classes in person on December 12th from 10 a.m. to 1, and then a kit class in the afternoon on December 12th. And there will be information emailed out to you about that. All right. Well, Stampin' Up! Yesterday was Cyber Monday, and you can save on prepaid Paper Pumpkin subscriptions. 3-month is regularly $81. Now, from now through the 9th of December, you can sign up for Paper Pumpkin for 3 months for $61. 6 months is regularly $162, and right now through the 9th is $122 for 6 months. If you want to do an entire year, then it's discounted at $244 is the discounted price, and it's regularly $324. So that is a really good deal. All right, well, moving right along is the product of the month. This is something brand new that's Stampin' Up, and it's just started today, product of the month. I do want to make sure that you understand that if you do order the Paper Pumpkin subscription, even that it won't qualify for you to reach your $75 qualifying order to get product of the month. And that's the reason, because it has to be one order and it has to be for that month. Whereas you're getting a Paper Pumpkin subscription, even though let's say 3 months is, well, let's say 6 months is 122, but it's divided by those 6 months. So it's not really spending $75 for just one month. So the product of the month is going to be different every month. For December, it is this beautiful True Blue floral paper. You just log into your Stampin' Up account. You have to spend at least $75 in one order to purchase a product of the month. And if you use any of your Stampin' Rewards or coupons or discount codes on your order, your cart amount, if it falls below $75, you're going to need to add items to make your cart total at least $75 or more. And then once you reach that qualifying amount, you can add the product of the month to your cart, and it is $5. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat and I will answer them. Let's see. We have 2 new kits that just released today. And one of them is called As You Grow Kit. And this is a memory keeping kit. It has several pages. As you can see, it has a little pocket there. It doesn't just have to be for someone who's going to have a baby, but if you know someone, it'd be a great gift. So it's kind of like I think it was kind of a scrapbooking, but you can add your own pictures and different things. But it would be someone going on vacation, would be a perfect gift, or to buy to put down your memories. So as you grow. And then the second kit this month is Banner Botanical. And you do have a stamp set. And this is just showing you, it has just, you make 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs. But you have 2, I think there's 2 different sentiments, or maybe just one. Maybe just one. I can't remember, but sending you all my love is one of the sentiments. And there might be another one. But as you can see, it's really, really pretty. All right. And then the last thing I want to talk to you about is called Last. It's Last Chance. So Stampin' Up! Added some last chance items and discounted some of them. And as a matter of fact, all of these products I'm showing you right now, they are some of my favorite. The Gingerbread Man, the Traditional Gems, Love and Courage, the cards, the 10 cards and envelopes that match, the pairs, Charming Days. These are some of my favorite, and they are discounted right now in my online store. So they're in the last chance. So, and there's more than just that, but I just chose some of my favorites to share with you. So let me look to see if I have any. Thanks, Connie. I'm glad you like the cards. And good question. So how you get my emails, Christina, in the description, there is a link that you just click on and you can sign up. And so that 12 weeks of Christmas will go out tomorrow. I live in Southeast Iowa. So I live in Southeast Iowa. So, so I do kind of, I'm online, but I also do in-person events too. And this will be our last, December 12th will be our last in-person event for this year. So anyway, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And thanks to those of you watching the replay. I hope you liked the card today. And again, wanted to show you a layout you can use with any stamp set, plus how you can change, you can add different labels or different stamps. You can put together things that you already have in your stash and add them with another stamp set to make cards. Take care. I will see you next Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central, and have a great day. Bye for now.